Hey guys, the lighting is bad. It's better than if it were on a sunny day. It's overcast today. When the sun happens, it's just like really sunny. This will have to do. I'm not a professional photographer. This is literally my laptop, and this is much more comfortable than sitting over there in front of the window where people can see me. That's not good. So you guys can just deal. So last night was cool. So my school got the top school this year for number of students that registered to vote. This has happened 2 years in a row. Woohoo, democracy. And so we got an award for being awesome. And our award for being awesome was that we got a free screening of the documentary called Sound City and got a Q&A with the director of that documentary, who just happened to be Dave Grohl. So I went to that because it's free. Yes. Yeah, so the documentary was Sound City, called Sound City, about the famous, though I didn't know of it before, recording studio in Van Nuys, which I'm assuming is right outside Hollywood. So that's where recording studio is, and the recording studio, I'm just going to give you a synopsis of the entire thing. So the recording studio started up in the early 70s-ish, and the men who started it, whose names I can't remember, but they were top-notch fellows, started up and were just like, well, there's backstory to it. Basically, they started a recording studio. They were talking about the place. There's all these fancy studios that have been for a while, and they're all, like, they have hot tubs in them and like all these cool snazzy things and everything. And this place had like carpeting on the wall, and it was like nobody cleaned it, and it was just gross and disgusting. But they recorded music, and so I think the first ever album, or the first ever people that recorded there, were Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, which is a pretty good way to start out, when they were still Buckingham and Nicks. And then somehow Mick Fleetwood got word of this, the studio, and went in and listened. And backtrack a little bit. There's this soundboard that is in the studio, and it was made by an engineer, designed by an engineer named Neve. And the soundboard was just amazing. I mean, like, state of the art, just amazing thing, like really just crystal clear sound and everything. If you go back and listen to like Pat Benatar and stuff, Hit Me With Your Best Shot and everything, just the clarity and stuff with which those songs are recorded, that's that soundboard. Anyway, so back to Mick Fleetwood goes in and is just kind of checking out the studio and seeing if he wants to use it, and he listens to a song that Buckingham and Nicks had recorded and just fell in love with it, though, the way that it was and everything, recorded, and then went out, and mostly he just decided that he was going to use the sound studio, but then it turned out that he kind of decided that he really liked mostly Lindsey Buckingham, and got in touch with him and was like, hey, you should come be part of our band. And Buckingham was like, okay, well, my girlfriend has to come too. And so that's how Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham became part of Fleetwood Mac. So they recorded there, and just word started getting out about the place, and really now famous bands start recording there, like Rick Springfield. And there's a whole story behind Jesse's Girl that happened. And his dog, who's, I'm not going to give that away, but Rick Springfield's dog, who would come into the studio. That was an adorable story. And Tom Petty. There's a lot on Tom Petty. Yeah, and I think there was lots of others in the set, like popular 70s into the 80s bands that I can't remember now, but it was so cool. Listen, just seeing them first recording songs that are so popular now, or that that my parents grew up listening to, and that I grew up listening to, and it was so cool. It got me really excited about like that like genre of music that like what we now consider classic rock stuff. Man, it just got me pumped. I just wanted to come home and just load it all onto my computer and listen to it forever and ever. So that was really cool. And we're sitting there in the seats, and I keep looking around, and like a song would play, I don't even know, a song would come on, and I'm just like, oh, this song, and I'm just so like kind of moving to it, because you can't help but move to these songs. And looking around, just kind of surveying the audience to see, okay, who else knows this? Who else feels this? Like I feel this. And there was actually quite a lot of people who did, so I was proud of people. um, so that was really cool. That was probably my favorite. Well, one of my favorite parts of the entire documentary was just all the '70s stuff, and all like just Sound City getting into motion, doing stuff. So then, it's going into the '80s, and they're still recording with really popular musical artists and everything, but all of a sudden everything went digital. Like, well, all of these drum machines and just everything, technology advancing and everything, and how that affected. That's basically what the entire documentary was about. Was just about how technology and the advancements of technology have influenced the music industry and have kind of taken away like the human element in a lot of stuff. And eventually, I'm just gonna spoil it. Eventually, sadly, Sound City closed down because they couldn't keep up with the advancements and all the new stuff happening in Pro Tools, and they couldn't keep up. And also, they were just having money problems and stuff, so the place closed down, and it was really sad. But the really cool thing is, oh, by the way, Nirvana recorded there. Nevermind was recorded at Sound City, so that's kind of a big thing that happened. That's how Dave Grohl got so involved with Sound City and everything about everything. Yeah, so the place closes down and everyone is sad. And so there's all this talk about where the soundboard was going to go, or what was going to happen to it. And Dave Grohl was talking about how he just assumed that it was going to go right into the Rock and Roll Hall. Dave Grohl was talking about how he thought that it was going to go right into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it was just so important and all this stuff and everything. And but before that could happen, he bought it up because he's got money and he can. So he bought up the board, and he has his own recording studio. I'm not sure how long he's had it, but it's called like 606, Dave Grohl 606. And so he bought up the soundboard, and they moved it all into his studio. And now, well, not now. It's been a while now. It's been like at the beginning of the year. He got in contact. First of all, I think just to work on the documentary, got in contact with all of these super famous people who recorded at Sound City and everything. And so he calls up Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty and Mick Fleetwood and Rick Springfield, and then all the artists that recorded there more in the 80s and 90s. Trent Reznor and Leaving, which was really fun to watch. Joshua Home. Yeah. So got in contact with all these people and, said that we should make a documentary. And actually, I have video footage of him saying these things. I should probably edit them right here.
So I said to Jim, who's got a camera, he knows how to edit stuff or whatever, I said, let's make a short film, just like a YouTube clip, to pay tribute to the board, And then I started calling everyone, like, hey, hi, Rick Springfield, this is Dave Grohl. Making a movie, will you talk to me? And one by one, every person was like, yes, I'll do it, yes, I'll do it, yes, I'll do it. Until finally I realized, wow, this isn't like a 10-minute thing, man. This is good. This could be a film.
So he starts making a movie. And then I think after that is when he decided that he was going to make an album. And so there's an album that goes along with the documentary, and in the documentary you can see at the end some of the songs being recorded and everything, but what they really wanted to do is they wanted to go back to basics. They wanted to go back to the way that music was recorded back then. It's called reel to reel, like REAL to REEL, and just capturing real human stuff on an actual reel. And so it was really cool. He got to play. And they made up songs on the spot. you can see it happening. They're writing the songs as they're playing. They just kind of picked up an instrument and just wrote songs and just like, okay, let's do this. Dave Grohl was just beside himself and he was all excited. I mean, but these are all people that influenced him. And I think the best part, in Dave Grohl's opinion, the most exciting person, legend that he got to play with was Paul McCartney, who didn't record at Sound City or anything, but is Paul McCartney. And so he got in contact with him and he came and they recorded a song together. That was a really fun part to watch in the documentary. So it was just really cool. The documentary was so good. I feel like I'm probably leaving out a lot of stuff in it that was really awesome. But the entire thing was just so awesome. I'm gonna go buy it. My parents, hi Mom and Dad, you need to see this. It is so good. It's all like, it's just, all that music. And, so many music feelings. And I want to get the new album too, the Sound City album, Real to Real. Because some of the stuff on there, Leaping is fun to watch, but I'm not as much into such punk rock stuff. It's just not exactly my style, my type of music that I listen to a whole bunch, but I don't know. It was just really cool. Music history, man. And this is recent history, but music history. And then, after that whole thing of watching this awesome documentary, one of the director of it and one of the people that's in the documentary just walks out on stage and we can talk to him. So that was really surreal. So it was a Q&A and they had these microphones set up and they said, be really orderly, be calm, come out into the aisles, line up behind the microphone and we'll get through your questions. And when Dave Grohl came out and we were all screaming and, he's like, okay, yeah, sit down. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do the whole walk up to the microphone thing. I'm just going to call on you and you're going to have to shout really loud because it'll just make things go faster. And he just wanted to do it that way, which was so perfect because it made it just so much more comfortable and low key. I don't know. It was just like we were hanging out with him. It was really cool. And his personality is just awesome because, he's such a good speaker. He's a really good speaker. He doesn't trip over his words or anything. He'll take pauses to collect his thoughts, but mostly it just falls out. And he was just, entirely passionate about everything that he was talking about because that's his life. His life is music. At one point, someone asked him, "Do you have any other hobbies?" And he goes, "No, I'm music. That's pretty much it." He just, I can't get over. He was funny and just, I've heard some girls talking when we were leaving, and I very much feel this way too. So I just want to be his friend. He just seems like such a cool pal, just a really solid, decent guy to just have as a friend. And I don't know. It was really cool. And I was sitting there right when he came out. We all stood up and clapping and everything, and then right immediately I take out my phone and I start recording him answering questions and stuff. And then I realized that I just seemed to just sit there and realize that I was 20-ish feet, 25-ish feet away from a very famous person so I just I sat there and let it soak in. I was just like, I feel like at a few points he actually looked directly at me. How many people can really say that? It's not like I got to touch him or anything or shake his hand or say, "Dude, you are awesome." But I did get to lock eyes with the man. And hearing him talk about his family was probably my favorite part because he just seems like he's such a great dad. I don't know. It was really cool. So there's that. I'm probably leaving out a lot of stuff that I was blabbing about last night because I got home last night at probably about 10:30 and that's about the time I go to bed. And I had this massive headache just from all of the musical awesome. And but I was just so pumped up. I came in and a few of my housemates didn't go because they had stuff to do and everything, which was really sad because I'm sad that not everyone could go. But I came in and I just started blabbing. I was like, bleh. And I was all excited and everything and talking about all this stuff. I'm like, I mean, I feel like I appreciate music and but that's very much not my like thing. I'm a zoology major. um I do science. But I just I don't know. But I can still muster up some excitement, some decent excitement about this kind of stuff. So I was really pumped last night. Even when I woke up this morning, I still felt residual adrenaline. But it was really, really cool. Highly recommend documentary Sound City. 10 out of 10. For some of you, my lovely, lovely family and friends, some of you that are watching, there's a decent amount of cursing in it. So if that puts you off, then I found that I could just kind of enjoy all the other aspects regardless. So that was really cool. That was one of the more cool things that happened to me this year. And I'm really happy that I go to a school where this kind of thing happens. So I think to end up this video, I'll probably just show you some other stuff that Dave Grohl said. Some inspiring stuff to uplift you. Hope you guys are having a good Monday, or as much of a good Monday as you can have, really. My Monday's pretty low-key, although I should be doing assignments that are due this week. Because it is the last week before finals, and then summer. So, stuff's happening. Alright, talk to you guys later.
And I really believe that if there's anything in life that you want to do, that you just have to have that passion and the drive and the focus to do it. But you can't worry about how it's supposed to be done, you know? Because I don't think there's a right or wrong way to make art.